Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, yes, we are a minute, but possibly 2 minutes late. But we are here, as we promised, episode 5 now of the Scottish Falcons with your boys Des, the Scottish Falcon, the original Scottish Falcon, Stevenson, and Waddell, coming to you from not so sunny Atlanta. And tonight we've got a lot of good talk, as always. The complaints are coming in, as I say, but better late than never. And it's good to see the fans holding out, just waiting, showing the love already. So big shout out to Darren there. But before we get into anything, as I say, tonight it's all about the schedule. How many games are we going to win? How many games are we going to lose? Fingers crossed that would be a big 0. But before we get into the nitty gritty, Des, my man, it's great to have you back on again. In the trenches with me, Claymore swinging as it were. How are you, sir?
Doing well, mate. Doing well. I actually got home a wee bit earlier tonight, so I've actually had a chance to actually have some food, and I think my hair's actually dry, so it's not wet at the time. But what I would say to Darren about the time, we actually used the stopwatch that Raheem Morris used last year in quite a few of the games. Hence the reason why there was issues with the time clock.
We're running on coach's time, mate. So as I say, the time management could be better. That might be a delay a game there, but as I say, it's quality, not timing. Sometimes, as long as you get over the line, and we hope that the Falcons can do the same this year. As I say, year 60 we're going into now, so it's a big one. As I say, but while people are jumping on in the building, showing love down in the chat and things like that, I'm going to do a little bit about the news. So there's a few things that I've been seeing on the old world of the social medias. So first off, before we get into the schedule itself, would like to say that we've got Bucky Brooks. He released his most exciting players of 2025. He was then questioned about that list, and he says that the most exciting player on that list, bar none, would be the man that he selected at quarterback, which would be this gentleman right here, Michael Penix Jr. So basically, as I say, he is the most exciting player in the league for the year to come. So we're glad to see that. And it's not often, I'll just throw it out there now, I don't often agree with Bucky Brooks, but in this one I'll give him his flowers. Also, the real talk of the news, just to break down the ongoing contract situations with Drake, London and Kyle Pitts. The media are suggesting that the Falcons, not having said anything to the narrative that they are going to extend Kyle Pitts, means that they are now going to let him play his 5th-year option, as a lot of us had said. And then if he does perform, we can look at the reassessment from there based on that. So, as I say, don't be expecting any Pitts extension at this time. But as for Drake, this was why I got the photo of him looking baller, because what you need to remember, you have a possibly top 5 receiver in the league now, and he's going to want to be paid accordingly. CD Lamb's extension makes me think he's going to be somewhere in the region of $38 to $40 million a season. So you need to start thinking about money, because that's a body you really can't afford to lose. Especially because you've been training to let him fit the culture as well. So there's a little bit of the news. So kind of talking about that, MPJ and the excitement levels, and also how you feel about kind of contracts, especially with the Kirk money freeing up next year as well. So how are you feeling about some of those kind of tidbits? Des, any comments about that?
Well, yeah, I think Jaden Daniels showed last year that a rookie can come into the NFL and perform. If he's in the right offense, and obviously it's under Dan Quinn, if it's the right offense, then you can see. I mean, they went to the championship, well, the national the division championship game. So, I mean, I can't complain about what Bucky Brooks says. As you say, it tends sometimes to be quite anti-Atlanta. But I would say he's spot on. I would say that I would prefer if there's ever a time when the media ignore us and effectively show us effectively are not nice ways, I would prefer it to be just now. I would rather they just ignored Michael Penix Jr. and just let him go on with it.
As I say, deadliest punch, one you don't see coming, so I'm happy to fly under the radar. A lot of people have been saying this in the chat as well, so I'm glad that you're saying this, because as I say, we need to not hide the ski and do's. We need to come out here and say it like it is. And as you say, Jaden Daniels is a great example of that. I'm happy to be slept on, but this season might be the one year where we can go, no, sleep on us, you're going to regret it. We've got something for you.
But again,
as I say in the tagline,
as we've said in other shows, that the guy's horizontal. Michael Penix Jr. literally is. I mean, there's times where he's taking the snap and you think he's sleeping. I mean, he's so chilled. But if there's one time when I want the media to ignore us, it's now. I would rather they go with Jaden Daniels, anybody else. Aaron Rodgers is going to have an MVP season. Brilliant. Go for it. Just leave Michael Penix Jr. in the background and let him work. What I would say is it's not about pressure. I don't think that guy understands what pressure is. But I keep on saying, we still need to understand he's only played 3 games. So, like, Jaden Daniels will understand this coming season, that if the NFL gets a chance and the coaches get a chance to study your game, eventually they start working out what you're going to do. And he might have a sophomore slump. The fact that Michael Penix Jr. has only had 3 games, it's not really given coaches much to study. And we're hoping that he comes out the traps running and go for it. As you say, it's a chess game as well. So it's another developing system where a rookie who, as you say, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I almost can't take the games last season as reliable. We've had a full off season now to tweak that offense. So it's like, he's had that experience now, so we need to be more ready than we would have been if he hadn't had those games. But at the same time, this offense could have changed and evolved and shot off in a distance to where that's not going to be a reliable sample of what to expect. So it's a catch-22. I think we can catch, at least for maybe the first 3 or 4 games. As I say, looking at the game, breaking down the game schedule, Tampa to start, Minnesota, Washington. So when we're playing these games, I think we can catch a couple of teams napping there. I really do. So, and then as I say, can I just jump in and talk about? We're still talking about Kyle Pitts.
Of course,
From my point of view, it's in Atlanta's hands. The benefit of Kyle Pitts effectively being the tight end is the fact that at the end of the season, if he's played really, really well, from my point of view, if he has one great season, you're not going to hit him with a massive big contract. You tender him. I think the tender is only, is it $15-16 million it would be for a tight end.
So.
Which if he has as good a year that we're wanting to keep him, then we tender him at the end of the year. As for Drake London, it's a case of that guy's going to want paid and we have to pay him.
And this is the question. As I say, you can't pay everybody. So, as you say, you get one franchise tag per franchise per season. Who do you use it on? and I would possibly be more inclined to take the extra year to work it out with Drake, because yeah, $40 million is a lot of money. And to Darren's credit there, I look around the league. I love players. I'm a Falcons fan first, but I love players. And to his credit, CD Lamb is a real nice receiver. He's worth that 35, 40 million tag. Drake London is right in that conversation too. He's in that sort of top six mix of guys. Good to see you back, Ricky. Always in the building, always showing love and support as well. So,
Absolutely.
as I say, yeah, when it comes to pits in London, the real sort of, as I say, we're going to have some real conversations, because there's some boys needing a good bit of money, and that's what we were saying with Tyler as well. We have players that we'd love to keep, but it ain't going to be cheap, because these are starter caliber players.
But there's going to be a chance, Will, that we're going to have to effectively sacrifice Darnell Mooney. If at the end of the year, I mean, I think his was a 2-year contract, so he'll be up for he'll be a free agent at the end of this season. If it's a case that we can't sign or we can't take Darnell Mooney because we have to pay Drake London, so be it.
Yeah,
I honestly believe that Ray McLeod showed. I think he's in a lot of teams. He could be a wide receiver too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you look at Kadero Hodge, who again, when he's been asked to do wide receiver, he's done well. So from my point of view,
he really has.
At the end of this season, I wouldn't even get to the end of this season. See if we haven't signed Drake London up before it come the end of this year, I'll be shocked. There's nothing to see. There's no questionable reason why we wouldn't sign this guy up. At the end of the day, look for the pen, get the contract, and sign the contract. There's no question. This guy could be a wide receiver, one of the top 3 wide receivers in the NFL. His contested catches is just phenomenal. We've already spoke about his history with basketball, and as I said, that's a basketball player playing American football. So there's no question for me. You get Drake London. If we have to sacrifice Darnell Mooney to actually get him signed, then so be it. We need to look for a more cost effective wide receiver too.
And as you say, I've got options for you as well. There's always guys coming up in the draft. A wide receiver is a deep pool, and even when it comes to guys that you don't necessarily pick up in the draft, but you go through the UDFA process. I mean, we got a college triple crowner as a UDFA and Nick Nash. So if he can make the step up as well, then I feel like Darnell Mooney would be surplus to requirement, so to speak. Especially because I'm going to take Cincinnati as a prime example here. Joey B's a hell of a kid. He's a great QB, but even a QB on that level who is, I don't know, let's say top 5, because he's right in that mix with the Lamar Jacksons, the Joe Burrow. When you talk about Joe Burrow, he's right up in there with Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, these sort of names, top 4, top 5 sort of guy. But I cannot understate how important a commodity a truly game-changing wide receiver is. And you see this in Cincy because you have 2 guys that are costing them now almost $250 million on 2 receivers, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. $108 million extension for T. Higgins. $135 million extension for Jamar Chase. So you see how much money and how much resources and credence teams are willing to put on a receiver of that caliber. I'm not going to say that he's top 3 because you've got, as I say, you've got the 2 guys in Cincinnati, then you've got guys like Jefferson in Minnesota. You've got some real nice guys, as we said earlier, to his credit. Fuck the Cowboys, but I love it. I love players, but CD Lamb is fantastic too. There's a lot of Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I think he's definitely in that sort of top 6, top 8 bracket. But he's going to need that bag as a top 8 wide receiver, and we need to be prepared for that. Which is why I'm saying, if you look at the price of tagging versus the price of paying out that contract, I'd maybe look at tagging Drake, because if you're talking 38, 40 million a year, that's not chump change. But then again, to play both sides of that coin, we're not paying Kirk. We're not paying $27 million for a backup quarterback either.
Well, I got to say the honeymoon is over. We're going to have our first disagreement, mate. I'm in the court where if Kyle Pitts has a phenomenal year this year, effectively the same as Caleb McGarry. Caleb McGarry had like 2 really bad years. 1 year was all right. Then in the contract year, he had a fantastic year. Now I can't remember whether we tagged him or not, but I'm very suspicious of players that effectively have their best season when it's their contract year. If Kyle Pitts is phenomenal, then tag him. It's only 16 million. At that point, we should already had got Drake London tied up with a 4-year, 5-year contract, signed, sealed, and delivered. I don't think, there's any. If Raheem Morris and Terry Fontenot are sitting down saying that they still need to see another year from Drake London, then I don't know what game they're watching, because
that's fair.
And what I would say as well is, I've never ever seen it, but if you look at what, again, if any of the guys in Atlanta will say, if they're Braves fans, what is it Alex? I can't remember. He's the general manager in the Braves. But what he does is, if he's got players that show spurts, like Michael Harris Jr., they effectively tied them up really early because they can see the potential. But before they've then shown the real full potential, he's got them signed up to maybe 15 million a year. It's great money for them, and they're signed up. And I know baseball's different, but they're signed up for the next 10 years on a team-friendly contract.
Yeah,
you never ever see it in football. They always wait to the last minute, and
rookie deals need to be, as you say, like bringing other sports into it. You could say talk about the baseball, but shout out to the Hawks as well. The NBA is funny like that. Like, there's so much pressure on these guys that come out. People are saying that Asa Newell, who they picked out from the University of Georgia, shout out Dogs, the first time since 1982. That the Falcons and the Hawks have both selected a Georgia Bulldog first round of their respective drafts. So they're doing some nasty work in the NBA too. But what I would advise is that with the level of expectation being as high as it is for these kids coming in, especially as a first round pick, you need to kind of set your expectations a little bit. And I think that the contracts need to reflect that. I think rookie contracts are getting a little bit crazy sometimes, irrespective of sport. But I feel like rookie deals need to be set accordingly. I feel like it's one of the beauties of the game I play called Zen Football GM, is you can tweak the league to where you can have a rookie deal that's not 4 years with a 5th-year option. Say I can go like that. You're a 4th round pick, you look nice. I'm not 100%. I'll give you a 2-year with a 3rd-year option. You can restructure it like that. And I just wish there was some system to do that, because I feel like a 5-year commitment in some cases isn't warranted. But you kind of see what I'm saying. Just having that option as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, obviously they had to change all the rookie contracts because effectively the number one pick in the draft any one year was coming in and was the highest paid player in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And he's never ever played a game. So that's ridiculous. That had to change. But again, you see the issue that you're getting just now with the second round picks, because they're trying to kind of take away how much guaranteed money that they're getting, and the 33rd and the 34th pick have all agreed 100% that they're going to be guaranteed 100%. And I think the 35th player has just been arrested. So, and nobody else has signed their contract. Well, as of yesterday, nobody else in the second round has signed their contract. So that's the issue. When with the next, is it the CBA? When the next CBA comes up, to actually get all this sorted, but the way it is just now, it needs to stay, because when you start messing about with some of these contracts, you see what happens with the second round pick.
And as you were saying as well, to back that up, some of the guys in the chat are dropping some facts. There's a list here, just basically from Ricky again, dropping facts. The only receivers I put in front of Drake are Chase, Jefferson, CD, and Brown. I'd maybe put Higgins in that list. As I say, Stephon Diggs on his night is in that conversation. But again, you're talking about number 5 through 7 or 8. You're right in that upper top 10, lower top 5 mix. And receivers are only as good as the service they receive. And that's a point we've made as well in regards to Kyle Pitts. Is he can't be a 1,000-yard receiver, especially as a tight end, if you don't have consistency. Taking the fact that he is such a specimen and such an athletic freak out here, because we all know many of us would give our left arm for a frame like his. But as you say, there's something to be said for that basketball style too, because that is where you learn the ability to control your body in the air, because it's non-contact. So playing some basketball, it's a beautiful way to kind of transition without the risk of getting lit up as well. So, as I say, just keep the comments coming, because we love what you guys have got to say. But now that we've kind of broken down some of the contract stuff, we ready for we are. So here we go, the 2025 Atlanta Falcons schedule. Let's get into this in a little bit of detail. We will have that gun to head moment as well. So, but before we do, let's have a look week by week and see what's coming. So as I say, I'm going to let you go first, Des. So just take a look at each game week by week. Just let us know where we're on the road, where we're at home, where you think we're going to struggle, and where you think we can get these easy W's. And most importantly, can we rise up for year 60 and become Kings of the South? Which is why I made it the title for the video, because it's important, and I've been saying it wherever you listen to me, and as I say, I make no secret about the fact that I have a lot to say on the matter, but I will give up a Super Bowl for the next little while to go undefeated in the South and show these guys who we are again. It's about getting that mediocrity out of the A and starting to re-establish that culture of dominance. So what do you think, Des? Let's have a look at this schedule, bro.
Right. Well, first of all, we need to get into the most important point, which is pre-season, because there's a lot of fans out there that are. I remember last year when effectively none of the starters played pre-season, and you then seen what happened when they came out against the Steelers. They just didn't look ready at all. So, and I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be the same this year. So we've got the Lions, the Titans, and Dallas, which is, I mean, I would say that's good, good games for pre-season. First game, you're then at the Bucks. Well, sorry, it's the Bucks at the Falcons. The issue that the Bucks have got is they've now got another first-year offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
and I've listened to a few podcasts, and this has been brought up by a few of the other Falcons podcasts, that at some point it's not going to work with a first-year offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
The other thing as well is you see the way we were last year with Zach Robinson.
Yeah.
In the first game. So again, for me, the fact that Tristan Wirf's out injured is a bonus for us. I think the Bucks are getting a wee bit older. So you've got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I think Mike Evans is now in his, is it 30, 31?
He's 31, yeah.
Yeah.
The slant master. Look who's coming, popping out in the chat again. Were you not able to sleep again there, Patriots fan? Were you dreaming about a life where you actually support a team that have been relevant in the last 5 years? We know some things about your team too over there in Foxborough. Don't come at us with that. As I say, we don't hide the claymores this year. Year 16, we're coming. So
and
you're coming. Better come hard, bro. Better come hard.
We'll see in the 2nd of November, and we'll see how cocky you're there. You know what I mean? Effectively, yeah. So for the Bucks game, I've got. I actually swore there, but that's probably the best way to call them. So, I would say the Bucks game, because it's at Mercedes-Benz. I'm going a win on that one. What do you think? Well,
100%. Tampa is the one way we don't get 6-0 in the South. To their credit, and as I say, even for a division rival, I can credit a good player. I'm humble enough to kind of be a big boy and be diplomatic about it, and I like that pickup for Carolina. I like Ted McMillan. He is a very, very nice receiver, but Carolina doesn't scare me. New Orleans certainly doesn't scare me. We'll get into the Tampa game on the road, but in the Benz, we ain't losing. Not to a division rival in the Benz this year. So yeah, I've got a win. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think Tampa's going to try and come out here to remind us that, oh no, we won last year and we're coming back to back. But no, I think we beat Tampa. As I say,
yeah. I mean, we it was a clean slate last year, and I think we'll be better this year.
Yeah.
What I would say to any Tampa Bay fans, I think they didn't win it last year. The Falcons lost it.
Yeah. That's it. We shit the bed to take an old thing. As I say, I'm going to keep shouting out the guys in the chat because this is why we're here for y'all. So shout out to John Sinclair, again, an OG fan of the channel. Cool as Dre, Cam always dropping the facts. Ricky, Darren, we appreciate y'all so much. When you speak about the Cowboys playoff hopes, yeah, that's going to be a struggle, as you say, because you're locked in there with two Titans. You're in there with two nasty teams with Philadelphia and Washington. So the NFC East is a minefield. Make no mistake about that. Fortunately for us, our road through the South is a little bit easier than you guys. But I'm not going to lie, I don't envy Dallas this season. They might take a few concussive shots. You know what I mean? Along the way, it might be a long year to be a Cowboys fan. So be prepared for that, brother. Just a wee warning. But yeah, some names we don't see in the chat as well. Ocean Boy Martin, thanks for the love and support, brother. As I say, we are just breaking down this schedule, so going to have a little look and some more details. So just running it week by week. So I'm going to say, as I say, the wins and losses here. So I'm going to go week 1, Tampa at the Benz. That's a win. Then we've got Minnesota, US Bank.
Well,
that's tricky.
Well,
that's tricky.
But the problem we've got is we don't know what what we've got in JJ McCarthy.
Yeah. What JJ McCarthy are we going to get? 100%.
But that's the thing. I mean, so when he was at college, he was only asked to do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And he done what he was asked, but it wasn't the what he played in it was Michigan, wasn't it?
Yeah, Michigan will
he played at Michigan. It wasn't. As I say, he was asked to do certain things and he done it. He has to expand his game quite a bit as a QB, to actually to do well in the NFL. We don't, obviously, whatever the team's seen in training, they obviously think they've got the franchise quarterback because they let Sam Darnold walk out the door. You know what I mean? So, but again, for me, because of the issue around the quarterback, listen, he might end up having a Jaden Daniels type season, but it's only going to be second game, and it's going to be tougher because it's at the US Bank Stadium. It's over there, but I mean, my head's saying a loss, but my heart's saying that effectively could be a win. But again, it's a toss up between what JJ McCarthy are you going to get? What are you going to see from their quarterback?
And on the other side of the coin, what Falcons defense are you going to get? Because that's only week 2 on the road against a team that's no slouch.
Yeah.
So it's who shows up on the night. But I'm going to say that because it's so early in the season, if we had Minnesota week 8, week 9, then I'd maybe go, nah, that's a win. Week 2 on the road, I'm going to say Minnesota get us there. So that's 1-1 in my book and counting. So at 1-1, that would be, I'm going to do a quick run of the next few. So Carolina on the road, win. Commanders in the Benz, win in a dogfight.
Yeah,
I think we take it. Week 5 is the bye. That's going to be hard because my problem is, can we run the gauntlet then? Because that would then essentially be 13 weeks straight, no rest, so no bounce back. So. And then we're coming off the bye as well to play Buffalo at the Benz again, but it's Josh Allen. So that's a loss for me as well. So taking the first 6 weeks in the season, I've got us 3-2. But yeah. How about you? So first 6 weeks.
Yeah, so the Bucks is a win for me. The Vikings, I'll take off my Atlanta tinted glasses for that, and I'll say that's a loss. Panthers again. I mean, they're highly they're talking up Bryce Young, and I mean he had a few decent games, but I still don't see him being a literally a die in the will franchise quarterback. So, but again, that's away to the Panthers. So I'm putting that as a win. The Commanders, again, we should have beat them last year. If we'd have got the ball in overtime, I think we would have won it. So again, I'm going for a win on that. And the Bills, the Bills is a loss from me. So, for the first 6 weeks, with the bye, I've got it again. I've got it 3-2. Now
I'm right there with you. So if you want to run maybe 6 through 10, 6 through 12, shout out to John as well. Always dropping facts as well. We love to see it. So keep them coming. Keep your comments coming as we go through here. But Minnesota will probably be the game that will see what everyone's made of. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's a good, nice test. So I wouldn't be surprised if we can use the bye as a little bit of sort of, if we do drop the game into Washington, if we drop the game against Washington, I can see the fact that maybe if we beat Minnesota and lose to Washington or vice versa, and we hit reset, we could maybe scare the Bills. But it depends on how we come off of that bye week as well.
Well, what I would say, Will, is if there was ever a team that you want to have a bye and then go in against, it's the Bills. But I mean, again,
100%.
it's Josh Allen. I mean, the guy he's the league MVP from last year. He is a fantastic quarterback.
Really is.
And to be honest, the Bills are set up. The Bills are probably the only team that I think have got the chance of winning it first before us.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, I've got the Bills as a loss. You're then on to the 20th of October. Again, that's prime time. Again, that's away at San Francisco 49ers. Again, if that was home, I'd say a win. But and again, the issue you've got is you don't know what you're going to get from the 49ers. They had a really bad season last year. They had a lot of injuries. They seem to suffer really badly from injuries. But again, if I'm taking my Atlanta Falcons tinted glasses off, I'm going a loss with that.
Speaking of Madden, as we say before you continue, we were speaking about Madden earlier in the back, and that we can't turn off the injury settings. So again, we don't know what kind of San Fran we're going to face. Are we going to see the CMC that's going to run the league and burst off for 180 yards and 3 TDs? Or are we going to see the CMC that can't get by the line of scrimmage because he can't drive off the legs? Again, that's a big question.
And again, that is the issue. He's for a running back. He's had so many injuries.
Yeah, and he's not like he's not even the age of guys like Nick Chubb either. So I feel like he's not. He's almost like I can say it, and maybe you won't agree with me, but I feel like CMC's got too much mileage on the tires for the time spent on the road. If you know what I'm saying. He's too young to have had some of the knocks, but bad luck. But looking at the way Bijan was working with him in the off season, I hope he wasn't teaching him how to stay healthy, because Bijan don't need that kind of luck. But he was out with CMC and his brother out there working, and in terms of transferable skills, they're similar types of players. They're powerful, but they're the lightning, not the thunder. They'll run pretty, so to speak. But yeah, that's how I kind of feel about the CMAC thing. So, but as you say, on the road, I've got that a loss as well. So that would be 3-3.
Can I just jump in there and just talk about Christian McCaffrey? The issue Christian McCaffrey had was that when he was at the Panthers, he was effectively their offense. So he done more carries per game than most running backs, because without him, the offense just wasn't doing anything. You know what I mean? Probably the best thing that the Panthers done was trading him away, because he then went to a team that effectively could win games. But he's, as you say, their legs have seen quite a lot of miles.
Yes.
And that's an issue. But as I say, I've got the 49ers winning that one. So at the moment, I'm at 3-3. The Dolphins, again, if the Dolphins are the Dolphins that we seen last year, that's a win for me. And it's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. None of this stuff where the Dolphins are good at putting the visitors at the sideline where the sun hits. And effectively they get burnt to a crisp before the end of the game.
I agree with that. What's up,
So
Blackberry home team? But
yeah,
he dropped there's no Blackberry dropping in just in time for the good news, because after that 3-3 start, we are about to hit a run of form. I am not going to say an absolute tear because I don't want to put too much credence on it. But after San Fran 3-3, I have us beating Miami at the Benz. I have us beating New England on the road. I have us beating the Colts in Munich. I have us beating the Panthers in the Benz. I think here's a caveat. I think we drop week 12, the Saints on the road.
yeah,
So I think we go a 4-week, 4-game winning streak. That takes us to 7-3.
yeah.
But I think the wheels are gonna come off because of the early bye. So that would be 7-4 after New Orleans. How about you?
Yeah, I'm exactly the same as that, mate. I think at some point we have to. We can't go a season without a loss against the Aints. That's the issue.
No.
So if we're going to lose
No,
it, we
that
can
no,
lose
this
it.
year anyway.
If we're going to lose it, we can lose it in the swamp. You know what I mean? So
Aye, that's fair.
let it be in that effectively it's a hodgepodge a stadium that they've got. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's horrific. It truly is. We all due respect to the guys that go in that field wearing gold and black. I'm all for you having that grind and playing for the jersey, but what I worry about is what you've got to go and eat and deal with in the facilities once you are done.
I mean, well, you can just imagine the conference at Mercedes-Benz when they showed them the plans for the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and at that time they were sponsoring the Superdome, and you can just imagine the Mercedes-Benz executives looking and going, "Yeah, we'll swap over, we'll sponsor them. That looks better." So
yeah, 100%.
yeah.
And as Miss Maggie's saying in the back there, keep sharing, keep liking, keep subscribing. We are smashing it tonight. Almost 20 people watching. We've got all the good content coming. So as I say, the boys are here at 7-4 now. So here's where I was saying floors versus ceilings. So after the dome, we have Jets at MetLife. That's a win.
Yeah.
Seahawks at the Benz, another win. Same way we choke in the swamp. We are going to lose at Raymond James week 15 to the Bucks. So that would be 7, 8, 9, and 9 and 5. Cardinals at State Farm, we're going to win. Week 17, the Rams and the Benz. I'm going to throw that out because by then we're already talking playoffs. I'm going to say we lose that one because we're already thinking playoffs. So we take the foot off, but we get it back and we kill the Aints and the Benz to close it out. So I have the season ceiling 12-5, floor 9 absolute floor 9-8, gun to head record 11-6, 4-2 in the South NFC South crown, and a playoff berth. What about you? If I put the gun to your head and said, "What's the Falcons' record?"
We had our first ever disagreement earlier on, but yeah, I completely agree with you. Looking at the full schedule again, I've got 12-5 again as the ceiling. I've got 10-7 as the floor. From my point of view, if we are with this offense, again, the issue is what defense do we have? If we have an average, bang average, top 20 defense, it could be 12-5.
For sure.
Depending on how the defense is, it could be 10-7. But with this offense and with Michael Penix Jr., and as you said earlier, that Bucky Brooks has said that he's the most exciting player to watch this year. Everybody knows that this is hopefully going to be a special season for the Atlanta Falcons. But I get caught out last year when I done a podcast, and it was the NFC South. And to be honest, everybody watching will tell you, when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons, you just don't know. You really don't know. All you
and
can
that's
do
as much as I know Falcons going to Falcons, so that's why as much as people go, you're not a true Falcons fan, you've got the Ents beating us. Nah, I says we'll take our foot off the gas in the swamp. I says it's a game we can afford to lose. I didn't say that the Saints are the better team. I just know that the Falcons are going to Falcon. So I'm going to drop the real facts, as you know we love to do. We love this team. There is no other team but the one that plays in black and red. But at the same time, we're both realists, and we've been here long enough, and we've got enough bruises in the collection that we can show off to kind of dictate where that's all been best laid plans and best intentions and all that. So
the one thing you get with Atlanta Falcons is you get no guarantees. There's no guarantee that Michael Penix Jr. There's no guarantee that Michael Penix Jr. is going to come out and light it up. We hope it's going to happen. I mean, I'm hoping he's the next best thing in the NFL, and he does a Jaden Daniels and gets us to the NFC Championship game. But as you said last night about mediocrity,
the promised land, that would be amazing.
Yeah, but as you said, last night about the mediocrity, that's all we need at the moment. It sounds daft, but all we need is just win the South, and if we get into the playoffs, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, and that's it. As I say, 11-6 would be lovely. But to shout out John once again, I think the Falcons have a great young team that are going to stumble at times. The injury's still out on Raheem. The jury's still out on Raheem, rather. But also he thinks the Saints are better than what Ricky was saying. He thinks that Tyler's shocking isn't quite as shocking as we've maybe been led to believe. That taking the memes out of the equation, the banter notwithstanding, that he is better than a lot of people think he is. But as I say, we know what the Falcons can do to ourselves. We know our propensity to shoot ourselves in the foot, to clip our own wings. So yeah, we can, and no season's guaranteed. So we just need to take care of our own. Take care of our own business first.
Tyler Shock is the only rookie I've ever seen with grey hair.
It's about to get greyer as well. He's gone to New Orleans.
Listen, we seen it with Desmond Ridder. You know what I mean? Desmond Ridder had just took Cincinnati to the semi-finals of the national championship. You know what I mean? And effectively, it was all about, we only had Alex Pierce. He didn't have any great wide receivers. He had played over 50 games in college, blah, blah, blah. They're saying all the same thing about Tyler Shock. Now, we know it didn't happen with Desmond Ridder. So, listen, if the New Orleans Saints, if they want to jump on, was he a second round? Third round?
Third. What was it, third? Yep, third.
Yeah. Well, if they want to jump on a third round pick, then so be it. But
I mean, as I say, you can't throw all your eggs in that basket, which is why I play devil's advocate with the Kirk situation. Because if you really break down the scenario, how we are paying him, how much we're paying him each year, it's self-explanatory to where, and looking at his age as well, we knew we're not putting all the eggs in that basket, and that's the way you need to be. But taking everything we've said into account, the fact that we may shit the bed on one occasion, as we say, or two occasions, we're not infallible. The team's not perfect, but we'll get there. But that's why I've dropped the graphic, because this is the year where we rise up and we remind everyone that the South runs through Atlanta. We're going to take that crown, and then next season, guess what? A special message to the Carolina fans, the New Orleans fans, and the Tampa Bay fans. We're taking that crown, and if you want it, you better come and take it from us. So yeah, that's what we are hanging the season on for me. Kings of the South, and then we're 0-0 every week of the playoffs until we get that Lombardi, and that needs to be the attitude.
If I was to put my money on the end result for the season, I would go 11-6. I would go in between.
Yeah.
What I would say is we need to maybe get it up for Saturday. Literally the day after the Super Bowl, every year they bring out in the UK, they bring out the betting for the Super Bowl for the next year. And every year, I put my money where my mouth is, and I bet the Atlanta Falcons are going to win the Super Bowl. Now, I put £20, which is about $28, on Atlanta Falcons to win. And if they do win the Super Bowl, I couldn't care about the money that I'm going to win.
Yeah.
All I'm interested in is us winning the Super Bowl. I will win roughly about $1,400.
Yeah. We were talking about cracking that good old bottle of whiskey. That would replace it. You would win enough to replace it with the Lombardi money, because it's not a safe score. In Britain, for a wee bit of vernacular again, a score is £20. So a £20 note would be a score.
Yes.
But it wouldn't be a safe score, but it would be a nice one. And that's what we're holding out for. We love the banter. If we're fun, you can say what you want about us falling like a brick, but see that star of yours? It's no a logo; it's a rating.
Hi.
Just to tell you. So you piped down. You piped down.
You need an award for that one.
Oh no! As I say, we're all happy. It's all love it, and it's all friendship. At the end of the day, we all love the football. But if you're going to bring the boxing gloves, man, we can do that too.
As I say, in Scotland and in the UK, if you talk about a cowboy is a tradesman, so somebody like a joiner who effectively is really, really bad at his job. He's not very good.
Yeah.
So you get him in and he does a terrible job, and you have to get somebody in that knows what they're doing after it.
And it's a perfect name, actually, because you see the way their stadium's falling apart.
And that effectively that is you talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
That's it. It's like, Jerry, get the stadium lights fixed. You know what I'm saying? You've got bits of the stands dropping off. You're going to hurt people. Cowboys by name, Cowboys by nature.
But you also talk about the Aints as well. And at some point, I mean, what I would say is we talk about Kirk Cousins' agent. I would love to know what Mickey Loomis has got on the owners of the New Orleans Aints, because he's been literally there since doomsday. I mean, he's literally been there from the start, and he keeps on effectively kicking the can down the road.
Yeah.
You literally, at the start of this season, they were like $80 million over the cap, and they still got under it. But
I don't know how they managed it. Like, kudos to them for pulling it off. Somehow they managed to swing it, but like, the cap situation is an interesting one, and it's going to be how do we balance it. Our best friend, it can be our best friend, and it can be our worst enemy. And as I say, that's something else I've learned through the beauty of playing video games is you can talk all kinds of shit when you can go into the settings and turn off salary cap. Money talks and bullshit walks. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't got the money to be at the table, then if you ain't about that money, don't be about that money. That's what I'm saying.
But again, when it comes to the Aints as well, will this be the year that they literally they let it all go and they just take the slump for Arch Manning? Is Arch Manning going to light up at Texas and before we know it, he's an Aint?
Yeah, this is the thing. Like his daddy before, his uncle before, or granddad rather before him was a Saint. So the story arc is there. But as a Longhorn fan and as a Falcon diehard, it would hurt my soul so much. Like big boys do cry, and I might shed a tear that night. Like if it comes out that with the number 1 overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft, the New Orleans Saints select Arch Manning, quarterback, Texas. It's going to be tough to finish out that first round. Put it that way. I'm a big fan of the kid, and I don't want his career to go to New Orleans because that's where talent goes to die in my eyes. Because I might love you as a man and I might love you as a player, but you pull on that black and gold jersey, we're going to have problems at least for two nights a year.
Yeah, and then you look at, as you mentioned as well, the Panthers. Again, the Panthers are probably going to be better this year.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I've actually got a guy on Twitter called the Scottish Panther. You know what I mean? He isn't actually the Scottish Panther. It's another name, but he calls himself the Scottish Panther.
Yeah.
I think after he's seen the Scottish Falcon, and then he thought, "Oh, I'm going to call myself the Scottish Panther." Good guy. But he seems to think that that they could effectively compete with us in the Bucks this year.
Yeah.
But I don't watch a lot of the Panthers games. But I just see I don't see enough from Bryce Young.
No, he's good. He's not great, but again, product of the system. And to his credit, John's hit the nail right on the head there. Manning would do it because of family legacy, because he's grandpa. But I can't imagine many people want to go and start in New Orleans. To tie New Orleans and Carolina together, system makes the player. And no eye bigger than we. To bring it back to a Falcon standpoint as well, Penix isn't a one-man army. So he needs 11 men. It takes a village to raise a child, and it takes 11 guys to raise an offense, not just one. So,
but again,
as I say, and personnel wise, as Darren says, and all, like, we don't mind French in the chat. We're all Scots and Yanks here, so and we know it's going to get heated, Falcons fans, but you can only cook with the ingredients you've got, shall we say, to be a bit more diplomatic and a bit more PG-13. But no, the Panthers are good at hiding in the shadows. There will be a year where they come out and hunt for real. But in the words of Aragorn from Lord of the Rings, it is not this day. This is not the season for Carolina. This is our coming out party. This is our year. Our anniversary, and we're not letting anybody else control the narrative. Don't get it twisted. This is our story. You're just a chapter in it.
Yeah. Obviously, we all agree that the Bucks might be our main rivals this year. Let's have a look at the Bucks. So the Bucks have got, again, preseason, they've got the Titans, the Steelers, and the Bills. They've then got us for the first game, so we've got that as a loss. they've then got the Texans, the Jets, the Eagles, the Seattle Seahawks, 49ers, the Lions, because they've obviously got the first place schedule. They've got
and
the
Detroit will
Patriots.
kill them.
Yeah,
like, don't sleep on Detroit. David Montgomery and Amon-Ra St. Brown, they're going to smack Tampa.
Yeah,
With all due respect to the Bucks, they're going to get smacked. Like the Lions are going to run them over.
Yeah, and again, it's effectively the same after that for us. So again, it's a tough schedule for the Bucks, especially. I mean, playing against the Lions, that's going to be a loss, I would say, for the Bucks.
Yeah, we are right off that plateau. I feel like if Penix emerges the way we want to, we can surpass Tampa. The only team in the South that's really a challenge to Detroit, Washington, Minnesota, the big sort of 3 to 5 teams, Philly, that in the NFC would be us. They're their only realistic challenge in the South, because I don't think that Mayfield, although he's dynamic and he's a great improviser, credit where it's due, I don't think he's a complete enough quarterback to scare some of these teams. And the fact that he likes to run, when you break it down against somebody like Detroit, when you roll out to the right to square up, so you're not throwing off of your bad leg, you're running right into Aiden Hutchinson. And speak about somebody who came out of Michigan with pedigree, that kid is a stud. He's quick, he's long, and he's going to take your head off. So Tampa choking in Detroit, and then also add into that the beauty of, I love the way our schedule's built, because we've got some tough games early, but that's where we find out what this team's made of. We're going to take a couple of missteps along the way. 3-3 is not going to be a lovely start, and we're going to get some people going, this wasn't the Falcons that we had on paper coming into the season. But then, as I say, we're going to hit good. We're going to make a run and maybe 5 wins, possibly 6 back to back. So yeah, we're gonna have the naysayers. We need to trust the process and trust the personnel a lot, because you know what the media is like with these narratives and painting it how they want to put it. But no, trust the process and listen to what the guys who know and love the Falcons are actually saying. Because we are not going to just say things for clickbait, because we owe it to you guys to do more than that. And as you guys say, by the middle of the season, Penix is going to surpass Baker as best QB in the division. Hutch might be as well be TJ Watt's twin. Like, there are, as we said last night, like, there's players on that level when you're talking about $40 million a year receivers. Some guys are just built different. And in terms of edge rushers, as I say, Parsons, Hutchison, Watt, there's names that you just drop, and you're putting chills up the spines of quarterbacks. So yeah, 100%. There's some of these guys that are absolute monsters tearing off the edge.
What I would say is, with the Bucks game and Tristan Wirth not playing as well, I mean, it couldn't have looked better for our new draftees. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got Anyamata there as well. You've got quite a few of the draftees from last year as well that we're expecting to come on this year. But again, offensive line that effectively is down their best O-line, and that's the start of the season. And the best thing as well is, I think, when it comes to Michael Penix Jr., I think you'll see him more mobile than we expect. I also think that Zach Robinson is effectively going to open up the playbook that he really wants to play. And again, I don't think that was seen last year, because of Kirk Cousins being so immobile. Effectively, Zach Robinson was doing plays that effectively worked for the quarterback at the time. And then you look at Michael Penix Jr. And again, I'll say again, in college, he never gets sacked. He never gets sacked. Well, he did, but he was never sacked. as in he very rarely gets sacked. So
he was behind a consistent and solid, and even when he did get hit, he wouldn't always get sacked, but he'd get hit. But you would get that bump. I would call it bump and run because I'm a receiver. But from an offensive standpoint, it's not so much bump and run, but you see it. It's soft hands, just the little touch. Just I'm going to keep your arms based. Just little jabs, little. I'm going to feel you out, but I'm going to keep you out there because you're. I'm not letting you get close enough to start that wrestling match on the line. They've been great at keeping his jersey clean, giving him that little bit of space, that little bit of time. But this is what I've not said yet. The beauty of the way our pre-season's put together. I love it. And that's why I've pulled the schedule up again. So we start with Detroit. A great way to get the defense tested against a dynamic quarterback and a great offense with Jared Goff in Detroit there. Then we've got Tennessee. So we get to test that rookie who's behind an inconsistent sort of middling offensive unit in terms of protection. So that's going to let that defense eat against somebody who's not at a level of a Detroit. And then we close it out with Dallas, which again, a decent quarterback, still maybe top 12, possibly top 15 in the league, depending on whether he shows up or not. As he says, but Atlanta has a top 3 offensive line, so we're playing some teams that are going to give us a chance to let us see what Penix maybe can do with his legs, because there's going to be chances for Hutchinson to get in the backfield and cause a riot, especially if McGarry's not on his night, or if Matthews is not on his night, because he can play from both ends and rush the passer. So it's a good sort of baptism of fire, in so much as it's a good sort of balance of teams where we can probably come out maybe, I'd say 2-1 in pre-season as well. But the loss in Detroit is going to teach us a lot of things. It's going to show us how playing against an offense at that level is going to impact, and it's going to show us if we can get after these QBs that are playing at a higher level than average as well. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it as well. So that is how we feel kind of as it pertains to the season. Any more comments kind of about the schedule, mate?
Well, I'll go back to what you say, that you were talking a wee bit about Penix, about obviously about getting sacked and everything. The one thing you spot with Michael Penix is Michael Penix knows literally within a second or a second and a half whether the plays broke down. He knew that in the Giants game, and you see there's certain times where the play he can quite easily see that the plays broke down. And he just shows it into the turf. You know what I mean? He's got a football mind, and he calculates quick. And again, that's what you want from a quarterback. And that's how I believe that he very rarely gets sacked, because he knows when a play's broke down.
That and the fact that, to Caleb McGarry's credit, a bit similar to the bodies that Penix had in Washington. Because people talk about everyone's bigger in the SEC. That's all well and good, but there are certain colleges that can compete, and every season consistently that Washington offensive line is pretty huge.
Yeah,
big boys that can move, that have got that good balance of run blocking. They're hard nosed, would be the term I would use. That they're going to come after you. But at the same time, they're happy to sit back and make it all arms as well. And that's what I love about the pickup of Jack Nelson out of Wisconsin. Because, for instance, I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate, a little hypotheticals for you. Say Jake Matthews gets hurt and Jack Nelson comes in at left tackle. Now you've got two absolute maulers. 2 meters tall, 6'6", 6'7" each, both 325, 330 pounds, absolute bears on either side of the line. So I like the long levers, the thick legs that Nelson has, because he can then, as I say, buy Mike Penix, who has a quick decision time anyway, just that little bit longer to go. No, I can go through my reads, go through my progression here. I don't always have to go Vic style. Oh, my first receiver's not there, I'm off. And that's where I think MPJ is going to really distance himself for the Falcons offense as a whole. As I say, he can run, so he's not a Ryan, but we've got options and an offensive line that's built differently. And we're going to see a lot more in terms of the passing game as well.
And again, I think they're going to surprise us this year. I think you're going to see. I said earlier on in the podcast, I think we're going to see a more mobile Michael Penix Jr. I honestly think we're going to see him. We seen it a wee bit in the snippet in one of the. What was the game with the touchdown? Was that the Carolina game or was that the Washington game?
That would be Washington, I think. Washington.
Yeah. So we see that wee snippet there with the touchdown. And I honestly believe that Zach Robinson is just going to go, do you know what? I've had a look at your college tapes. I can see exactly what you can do. And we're going to open up this playbook. And if you want to run, you can run. Obviously, I know he's one of in the time Indiana when he was running and he got injured. So again, that might be the reason why they do pull it back a wee bit. But I honestly think that we're going to see a more mobile Michael Penix Jr. this year, and I think the offense that Zach Robinson brings this year is going to be nothing like the offense that we had last year.
Yeah, no, I agree. So just with all that being said, agree to disagree, Darren, my man. I think that your rookie tackle, the kid you took out of Bama, is about to be tested. And I think we're going to double load his side of the field with JPJ and Walker, while we've still got Leonard Floyd to hold the other side down. And I think Dak's going to break under pressure. I don't think he's built. I'm not going to say as I say, he's a top 12, top 15 quarterback, but I don't think your offensive line are going to allow him the time to get done what he needs to get done. Not with the way we're putting it together. And even knowing that he does have the arm that he does, remember well who we took in the third round and who we took in the UDFA class as well. We've got Kobe Bryant, we've got Xavier Watts, we've got Billy Bowman, and we've got Jesse Bates. And I'm going to throw a little name in there as well for you by the name of Divine Diablo, rocking that number 0 as a mixed coverage guy. So say what you will, but agree to disagree. I think we're going to handle you guys in preseason. I know they're not meaningful snaps, but it's the last preseason snaps before it, so we are not taking a loss into that Tampa game. Not a chance.
Yeah. And what is it? Tyler? Is it Tyler, and Tyler?
I think so.
They keep on
the Dallas Tylers.
Yes, they keep on drafting Tylers.
Thanks for holding in with us, John. Appreciate you, brother.
Brilliant. Appreciate it, John. Thank you.
As I say, we've got another, 45 minutes, an hour. So I think in terms of the schedule, at least, Bucky Brooks is exciting player of 2025. We've spoke a little bit about the kind of state of play as it pertains to contract situations and things of that ilk. So I guess now is what I wanted to talk to you guys about as well. So if you'll allow me the floor a few minutes here, Des, what I'll do, as I say, so Miss Maggie's been pushing this now for the last few days, so it's official. People have been plugging away in the chats, in the shows, in the Facebook groups and so on, about a red and black event. So what it's going to be for the 26th of July, we're going to do the big AFN LLC Red and Black training camp meet and greet. So it's going to be hosted by AFN royalty, our friends and sisters, the Ladybirds of AFN, Miss Maggie T, Whitney J, and Auntie Pam. So you're also going to see some more of the AFN creators that you've grown to know and love over the years. So the franchise knows Tackle's going to be there, Big Ant. The only names confirmed so far, but you know how AFN do. When we roll deep. So just keep your eyes peeled. But some information on that there. So as I say, it will be at O'Reilly's Sports Bar. So that'll be after training camp gets done on the 26th. So your donations are always welcome. So afterwards, as it pertains to Flowery Branch, you can give any donations that you want to do to the Red and Black Educators Fund for AFN, because we're always wanting to help the kids be provided with all the resources that they need to succeed. As I say, it's about the next generation, and obviously what kind of means we can provide for them. You don't need to provide a donation for party entry, so it's not a prerequisite. We're not going to hold your arm up your back and say no. We want your pound of flesh before. It's nothing like that. And as I say, if you're paranoid too about money, or if you care of things of that nature, you can also donate just the resources themselves. So as I say, pencil cases, pencils, pens, tablets, anything that you can do if you think that it can help the education system. And it's not just that, it's broader in the senses that we need to think, because you've also got sensory toys for children with certain issues and things of this nature as well, and they don't come cheap. So there's a lot of different things that are expenses that need to be met. So if you can put your hand in your pocket or have a look around to see what you can manage, we would appreciate that. As I say, it's all down there in the bottom, scrolling across now. So as I say, if you want to be involved, RSVP, it'll be on the Miss Maggie T Productions Facebook, the Falcons Nation LLC Facebook as well. So as I say, when it comes to talking about that, we've got a couple of pictures here as well. So just always pushing, as we love to do, supporting the educators around the around Greater Georgia as well, trying to be the voice of the fans and trying to do our best to give back, not just for you who give up your time to come and listen to us rant, but to everyone else who maybe isn't here and appreciates it as well. So the AFN LLC Red and Black Meet and Greet, hosted by Maggie T and the Ladybirds. I am going to take these scrollers off now so you can see the rest of the banner. Just bear with me 2 moments so you can see that. And this little ticker as well. So, yeah. There's going to be O'Reilly's Food and Spirits. So, Counting Highway, Decatur, Georgia. So, that may mean nothing to you or I, Des, but to the people in the A, if you're gone, that's where you're going. So if you're thinking about it, go and let's have a ball. Let's go. Let's do this, people. What are we going to say, Des? Sorry.
I'll say it again. The fact that you guys in Atlanta can meet up and go to a place like that and talk about the Falcons, we would cut our arms off to have that in Scotland. We don't have that. This is why we're on this this show and this podcast, because it allows us to talk about the Falcons. Because effectively in Scotland, there's nobody to talk to about football. The fact that you guys have got this great event going on, you don't need to donate to actually go to the event, but again, it would be great to support such a good cause. But get along, support the cause, support the Atlanta Falcons, and you've got all your brothers and sisters there that love the Falcons, want to talk about the Falcons, and to be honest, if I was a multi-millionaire and I had a jet sitting, I'd definitely be there. But unfortunately, I'm not like
me
that.
too.
Um,
Appreciate you too, Darren. As I say, we'll leave the talking to the field because we'll see you at the end of pre-season. And I've got your messenger, so be prepared. A conversation will be had after the fact. Don't you worry about that. But thanks as always for showing love and support to your boys. And a wee shout out. He's got an upcoming podcast. So for the metal fans, keep your eyes and ears out for the Amped podcast. That's going to be coming soon as well. So something to look forward to. So thanks again, Darren, for all the love, brother. Appreciate that. And as Maggie says, just always remember, we always wear our best red and black anywhere we go, as we say. You asked us in a past show, do you wear your Falcons gear into Glasgow? Yes. Unconditionally. Win, lose or draw. So we won't say get suited and booted, but I get your get our Sunday best on. Let's do it. But yeah, as I say, so what we're going to go into now that we've covered the red and black get together, just before we kind of start tailing things off, is just anything you guys want to talk about. So we're going to do a little bit of Q&A. Just if there's any topics that you want to throw in. We're going to go into this in a little bit more detail, but you'd brought up something that's kind of made me think as well. I can understand the paranoia in some cases with the Kirk Cousins situation, but what doesn't stack up to me quite so much, Des, is the JPJ trade. I'm going to get the file in place for Saturday's show so we can delve into it. But in essence, I feel like people are freaking out too much. The level of talent in the third round, hit and miss wise, you're very, very unlikely to get a caliber player like a JPJ. So giving up what was essentially a third round pick, a mid-day 2 pick, and swapping sevenths, I was not mad at that for a player who's essentially going to help define this pass rush for years to come, help define the culture for years to come too. So for people that are like, oh no, we can't afford to be giving up picks, it's like, nah, risk versus reward. You'd be mad not to take it. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, historically, I would say DeMarco Hellams was a 7th round pick, and he looks quite decent. But in the later rounds, it's literally it's a dice roll with the dice. What I would say is, and I've said this before, if Atlanta does it, it's terrible.
Yeah, and if things like that as well. That some of our late round picks have been consistent and have had that success.
Yeah.
Because if you go by the average, then we're due some stinkers as well. Yeah. And that's what makes me think we're better to run with what we know. And the Falcons have always been a high risk, high reward team. Look at how much we gave up to bring in Julio back in the day. Look how much we were prepared to pay Kirk over a 4-year stretch. That would have took him right until age 39 season. So the Falcons aren't afraid to throw money around, aren't afraid to kind of just say it. We're not afraid to be hated and to be laughed at.
Yeah.
Because as I say, in a lot of ways, when you've been a Falcons fan long enough and you understand the business, then things start to fall into place a little bit more. But as I say, there's 11 of you currently in the chat, so if there's anything you want to hear us talk about, I'm sure you're tired and sick of hearing us ramble on. Or as I say, what we can also do, I'm going to do this just now. We don't normally do this on a Thursday, but because it's been such a great show, the flow's been so lovely, and as I say, we've enjoyed kind of putting it across and really breaking things down. For the first time, we've really sat and went week by week. So what we have done there is dropped the StreamYard link. So what that's essentially going to do for you is just let you come on as a guest with the boys. So come join the lads. As I say, we don't bite. We don't bite hard anyway. We don't apply a lot of pressure, and we never draw blood. So come on and join us. As I say, if there's anything you want to talk about, just get it off your chest. And on that note, the First Lady has arrived. How are you, Maggie? Thanks for joining the Scottish Birds. How are you this evening?
Hold on. I jumped on real quick because it looks like that you was frozen. So didn't know if you was aware of that.
You all good, Mags?
Yes, I'm good. Can you hear me? I think it's your internet.
I think she's just getting some sounding things sorted out, folks. But
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you,
Maggie. Yeah, you're good. Hearing good now.
I'm gonna drop him down and then I'll private message him. Sorry about that. I think he's having some issues because it's delayed, so he probably don't even realize it's delayed like that. So I'm assuming he put the link in the chat, so I'll just kind of orchestrate that. Will, if you want to come in and come out and test your internet, because it looks like it was in and out.
Yeah.
Because he is still frozen right now. So
and while I've got the floor, I just want to thank everybody for all the great response I've had since we've done the first four shows. It's been absolutely fantastic.
My apologies, folks.
Yeah,
can you all see me? Can you all hear me?
Yeah, brilliant. Well,
apologies for the technical issues, ladies and gents. So I don't know how that synced up there for you guys, but just to introduce again, boss ladies up in the building. So anything you want to cover tonight, Maggie?
No, I wanted to, I guess, Des to finish up what he was stating, and then of course, I just was jumping in, but I can add something to it. Were you finished, Des?
Yeah, it was just thanking everybody for the great response we've had since we've started the show. I mean, this is us doing our sixth show will be on Saturday, and the response has been fantastic. And the best thing about it is that not one of the messages that I've had is somebody asking exactly what I'm saying.
No, and that was the beauty of it. I think to my credit, that's maybe me doing the legwork, because they're so used to a Scotsman just they've gotten kind of accustomed to it now. So and as I warned the guys, Des is an extension of me. So if you're used to me in the way I am, you'll get to know the Scots. We're not shy about getting into it.
I can say this, Will, after kind of listening, it's kind of like you're hearing the accents and you're getting used to it. So the more and more I feel that now, for me, that's just my experience. I understand what you're saying. Now, sometimes if it gets a little fast, it's like, okay, well, I'll figure that part out. But for the most time, I understand what you're saying. So I think the more and more they get used to your accents, and of course, if it's like you do, if it's a word that we might not understand, you'll say, well, this is what this means to us. But I think at the pace that you're speaking to everyone, they're understanding it, as long as you're just not, going so fast with it. And I try to talk the same in response to, because of course we can have some very Southern accents that comes on here, like Blackberry. He is Southern to core. And so it just depends on what part of the states that everyone that jumps on comes in. The further south, the more it's going to be a little, that twang, they say. So it's going to be, but everybody, you guys have probably your local dialect too, where it's, here you're doing it this way. I'm pretty sure, like you said, there's a way that you probably talk to each other for like a local, in compared to talking here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Scotland's got so many kind of regional accents as well. Like, for a laugh, one of these times I'm going to let you hear it, Maggie. I'll get a clip of how people speak in Fraserburgh in the northeast of Scotland, where my fiance Moira's from. Because if you think we are tough to understand at full speed, Doric, which is what they call the accent and the vernacular up there, when they go, oh ho ho ho, that's murder.
Yeah, we struggle to understand Doric.
But yeah, it's difficult. There's some parts of Scotland that even we are like, no, slow down a minute. It's so yeah, we get you completely. But yeah, as I say, just we'll get it figured out. But we're glad to see the family are appreciating it. Obviously, when it comes to accents, I like to have a wee play about and a joke and a game of things as well, because we know what the South's like as well. So all the kind of jokes about Florida and Louisiana and all those different sort of states and down in the Creole country. And
you're catching on. You're catching on. You're catching
on.
The Bible Belt.
I stay away from the accents. I'll just stick to my accent.
I can't wait for the first time that we get somebody trash talking and then we smack them just so I can deliberately come on here and be like, oh, bless your heart.
I would love for you to have.
You tried your best, bless your heart, but it was not your day, so.
Because if like a true native of New Orleans, so I think if you open up on Saturdays, I think right now people probably are working. If you guys want to jump on, click the link. But if not, you can join them Saturday. But what I'm going to do is my challenge is to find some of the different types of parts of the team fan base. Because, of course, you got up north, as we say it, New York and like Magnus, if you listen to him, he has an accent compared to myself. I guess mine is more, they consider a little bit more proper but I can get, Atlanta too. I can.
Yeah.
I just, where other people can understand it and things like that. But because I have to consider, we got King Richie. I have to
of our family in the States
nationwide, so my thick Southern accent might not translate to everybody. So I try not to. What's going on, King?
What's going on, y'all?
What's good, Richie? Thanks for joining the Scottish Falcons. As you were saying, Maggie, you were nice, a nice Georgia lady, nice Southern peach. So your accent sort of middle of the road and a bit softer a little bit.
Like I can't go to New York and they'll instantly hear me talk. It's like, oh yeah, you from the South.
I've got the same problem. The minute we touch down in New York and we hear this, they go, "Oh, you're Scotch. I'm from Dublin as well."
So what's going on, King Richie? What you got to add today?
Man, I'm be honest, man. I'm just ready for the season to start. I'm tired of talking and the rigmarole and the Kirk Cousin this and Kirk. Man, I don't care nothing about Kirk Cousin right now. We paid you. Sit back. I don't care about how you feel.
And that's
you got 180 right million.
There, guys. Just take a listen.
Hell yeah.
Go ahead.
He got $180 million. Ain't nothing else for you to talk about. You the highest paid back up in the league. So
100%, man.
So I'm just
it's like, brother, as you say, brother, it's like you got enough for them diamond grills and that gold chain. So don't give me that as if you're poor. Like you made dollars, so just stay your role a little bit. I get it. But no, I dropped in chat. Like I'm all one for embracing the culture. I told you, like I might be a goofy ass white boy, but I'm going to embrace being a goofy ass white boy. I'm coming over to the A and I'm getting a dirty Roy Rogers. I don't care. Throw some whiskey in that glass and call it done.
Give him some lemon pepper wings and take him to Magic City. I think he's in there.
Oh, chicken wings, yes, ma'am. Sign me up.
What you say, Dan?
Can somebody explain to me what a Roy Rogers is?
Yes, so it is grenadine and cherry coke. It's a non-alcoholic mocktail dressed with a maraschino. I'm calling it a dirty rye because, well, I'm Scottish and you know what we do with things like that. But yeah, essentially, it sounds really good. Grenadine and cherry coke.
So when cousin says, "Oh, I deserve this. I've really made it. It's been a good week or whatever," that's actually a soft drink he's drinking.
Essentially, yeah, it's a mocktail. So I thought it was an alcoholic. I thought it was maybe like you like your whiskey sours over there. I thought it was that sort of idea. And then I looked it up and I found out, no, if you do add alcohol, that would be a dirty rye. But a classic Roy Rogers is essentially non-alcoholic. So just another sort of string to his bow, or another eccentricity as well.
And again, that's the difference between the UK and America as well. Like, we get cider over here, so cider over here is just, it's an alcoholic drink, whereas in America it's called hard cider.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
So we
like
don't actually call anything hard. We just effectively put the percentage rating on the can or the bottle, and you kind of work out from that how strong it is. And it tends to be the more vicious, violent alcohols that are high proof, probably the cheaper they are, and we call them the Neds, which is
non-educated delinquents.
Yeah, that's it. Non-educated delinquents. The Neds tend to like White Lightning. That's a drink over here. It's White Lightning and MD 2020.
My God! So you're talking about heavy.
Mad Dog. All you need to know, if a drink's called Mad Dog, it's probably not the best thing for you.
Let it put a hole in your chest. Some of those alcohols. I feel like you probably drink us under a table. I can imagine to be.
Especially
no, I'm not a big drinker. My jam would be more. I'll have a few. Like, I'll have a few, and I'll have a bit of a party and a bit of a laugh. But my end game's more. I'll try to smoke here under the table. Okay. that's more my end game.
Now, meaning in general, just compared to what we drink here.
No. As I says to you in Candid Room. Yeah, Candid Room was like an eye opener, because as you were talking about kind of alcoholism and things like that, we are the only country in the world, believe this or not, it's true. We're the only nation on earth that has alcohol licensing laws. In Scotland, you cannot go into a store between 10 p.m. and 10 a.m. and purchase alcohol. You can only go in from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. because it's a national pandemic in Scotland. Alcoholism is so bad and it's destroyed so many families. As I say, Des can, it's not for any sort of judgment reason or anything like that, but we can both attest to what alcohol's done to people in Scotland, and the sort of culture it creates. And speaking of the Lady Birds, hey, Auntie Pam, thank you for joining us again. Always happy to have you. As I say, she'll be there on the 26th as well. So show love, show support to the ladies. That was a great show on Tuesday there as well. So just keep smashing the like button, the sub, the support, the share. Keep getting us out there, guys.
Yeah, and Maggie, in Scotland, they actually brought out a law recently that effectively based on the proof of the alcohol. So effectively what would happen is you would get really, really cheap alcohol that was like really, really strong. So they brought out a law that for every percentage proof, you had to charge a certain amount of money for it.
So the higher the proof, the more it cost.
Yeah, because there was a lot of people that were getting in and buying literally a bottle of, like, maybe say 12% vodka or something for like $10.
Yeah,
and then just effectively destroying the full bottle.
Yeah, a 70 cl. You're talking about 700 milliliters of vodka for say $8 at one point in some stores, because the stores do their own. Like, I don't know if you have this in what do you guys call that stuff? Walmart.
Walmart, yeah.
And things of this nature, where the way the alcohol's marketed, it's just in some sort of way to where they go, here's all the expensive ones, here's your Jim Beam, your Johnny Walker, your Jack Daniels, but we've also got Walmart liquor.
Yeah.
And that's a bad start, is that?
All that bottle, we got Top Shelf, the good stuff, and then you got the, they sneak it in the bars and mix it up, making you think you drinking some good stuff. And
yeah,
then
they got rot.
Stuff. So, King Richie, how you feel about the season though, and everything?
The season, man, I think this is gonna be a wonderful season. I think you're gonna be happy to be a Falcon fan.
Absolutely.
Me too. I agree with that.
Michael Penix.
How about floor and ceiling, Richie? Where do you think we'll end up in terms of wins and losses?
Oh, I Vegas had us at 7.5, so I went on and took the over at 9 and 8 because I feel like that's the minimum for a rookie for his first year. If he go 9 and 8, but he looks good and the defense looks all right, I'm fine. But I do expect 11 and 5, or 11 and 6.
Yeah,
but if we go a 9 and 8. 10 and whatever type of 10 and 7 type of number, I wouldn't be mad because I understand. Like, I still expect Michael Penix to make mistakes.
Yeah,
this is first true season. I'm not gonna it's like kicking a man when he down.
Yeah,
I expect it, so I'm not one of them unrealistic fans. If we go to the Super Bowl, fine. I just want to see a better team right now.
Yeah,
a better
more togetherness and better
team.
execution.
If we stay healthy, if we're holding on to cool, long as he can kick his field goals, and
And you know what? It's crazy that you say that, Miss Maggie, because remember how we all knew Cool was hurt last year?
Yeah. Yes.
Remember,
and we didn't know Kirk Cousins was hurt.
Yeah. Did you hear what the kicking coach said? The special teams coach Marquise, I think his name Marquise Allen, said about Cool in his interview on Believe Falcons?
No, I didn't.
No.
He said Cool. Yeah, he said the way he said it, if you weren't a Falcon fan, you wouldn't have caught it, because he was saying it so fast in the middle of everything else. He was saying something about special teams, and they were talking about Keith Smith or whoever was the special team coach when it was Ovi Mahaley, and he was like, "Yeah, everything back on track. Like, Koo ain't hurt no more." And I caught that. I was like, I knew he was hurt last year.
That's right.
But he went by it so fast that's not really what they were focused on. But for me, I'm like, hold up, did he just say, yeah, Koo fine this year? He ain't hurt no more.
And that's because they've been keeping it on the radar, because I had been wanting to know, because I was like, is he going to have any surgery in the off season? I was like, it's so hush about Koo. But I guess they were just like, no, we're good. He's fine.
That's what he said, but the way he said it, it if you'd have missed it, it went over your head. Like, so it was in the middle of so much other stuff he was saying. I caught it and I was like, oh, so Koo healthy this year. Because he was basically saying he getting his special teams back, because he been having what the vets been doing on special teams is they been playing runner, they been playing gunner. They been had Jesse Bates running the punt return and the kick return. They done had AJ Terrell do it. The vets are trying to show the rookies that it don't matter who you are, just make your place somewhere, like like Malone did, basically.
I think that and I'm glad you said that. I honestly think they did right by Koo by kind of just keep him in under the radar. Letting him, whatever was going on, he probably sat out, rested, probably went through his strength and conditioning and healing, because they didn't feel like it was as severe. But it did affected him to the point. It's like it did make a difference. Like, all right, Koo. I think Koo is just such a hardworking man. He probably was like, you know what? Okay, I can't do it no more. And they did make the decision. So
I mean, he's won us so many games. Him sitting down.
It's a he probably beat himself up about it because you was seeing his face. You can tell he was taking it really hard because honestly, he's saved us quite a few times out there. So not to be able to be that man, because you got to think about it. When he first came in here, it was the rumors, Koo is he's not consistent when he was coming from the previous team. He proved himself. And to get back to that point where it's like, oh, take him out. What's happening? The fans can be very brutal. So they probably just was like, nah, we're going to keep it quiet because he don't deserve that disrespect for one thing.
But what you say as well, thanks Maggie and thanks Richie, because you've kind of put me in mind of something as well, Koo-wise. It was the perfect set of circumstances. We're at the point in pre-season now to where we can go, oh no, it's just competition. Koo's fine, even if he's not 100%, because it gives you that time to show up. And it's all in the spirit of competition. Lenny's coming in to give him some push, but Koo's still the guy. You can paint that narrative, and then he doesn't feel some kind of way while he's doing his rehab. He's like, no, I'm focused. The teams, and as far as the media and as far as the fans are concerned, are behind me. So now it's kind of, what can I do to kind of rehab, to tie in with the guys, to make sure that I'm doing all I can. Because as you say, he's tried and tested. He's come in clutch for us on many occasions. Even just last season there, as we've seen from QB season 2 as well. A few game-winning drives had to end in a kick, not a tutty. So we've got that as well. So,
I mean, I'll say what Maggie and King Richie said. I watched a video last year. It was literally during the season, and you could actually see that Koo had changed his kicking stance.
Yeah,
and whether that was down to the fact that he didn't have the power in his leg to actually make the kick. He had to change his stance, which to me was either the fact that somebody's trying to get him to play different and change his stance, or he's injured.
Well, interesting you should say that, Des. And thank you again for saying that, because trying to understand, as I say, I think we went over this maybe episode 2 about the different styles of kickers.
Yeah.
Soccer style kickers versus rugby style kickers. Koo's more of a rugby style kicker, I would say. He's having to learn to get under the ball a little bit more without so much sweeping the hip, so to speak. So maybe bringing in Lenny Krieg isn't just about competition. As you say, maybe it's about, maybe it's the caveat to something a little bit more. Maybe it's like, okay, bring in somebody who's got the other side of the kicking down. Be a more complete kicker. You don't always have to go hip. You don't always have to engage the leg quite so much. You can get under
I agree
it.
with that, Will. And kind of to add to what you're saying to that, I'm sorry, my son in the back, but it's just hard to come by a real great kicker. The Falcons tend to kind of hold on to their kickers. Let's look at the past.
Matt Bryant,
Yeah.
There you go. It's funny. I communicate with his wife and everything. I've been trying to get Matt Bryant on the show. I'm working on that, but
wonderful. Actually,
we hold on to good kickers, and he was hurt. That's just the bottom line of it. So yes, a little competition just in case they didn't feel that he was going to be healing enough and healthy enough, because that's his job, to kick.
Yeah.
If you can't kick the way you properly do it, and then you have to switch some things up, it throws you off your game. Yeah.
And as I said yesterday when we were talking about Kirko, adversity and competition breed character. It's a business at the end of the day, so if you're not ready, they'll bring in somebody who is. But at the same time, on the spirit of getting behind your guys and things of this nature, you can, as I say, as the Falcons have done. I'm not going to obviously definitively say, because I don't know. I'm not behind the curtain in that way. But as I say, if you can paint it in some sort of light while simultaneously making sure that everyone's okay. Krieg gets some money, so he's happy to be here. He's a good kicker. He's getting the rub. He's getting the opportunity. So I think it improves everyone. It improves us as a team. If Koo's not ready to go, it improves Koo's outlook because, as I say, there's a few ways that you can slice that up, and it also improves Lenny Krieg because it drives him to where maybe he can get, even if he's not the guy, maybe he gets picked up by another team. And obviously, it's like we know this league's a very much "what have you done for me lately" type of league. So, as I say, if we can give him the salute and the gold watch and go, no, you've helped us get our guy in place, we appreciate that. Then, as I say, everybody wins.
And
that's why I was saying, I agree with you because I don't think it was just about competition at the kicker. I think it was because the type of kicker he is, he still got to learn how to kick through certain hashes, right side, left side. Like Koo, I think Koo is good on the right side, but he's not good on the left hash. It's one of the other, but he good down the middle. It's either the left or the right hash. One of them, remember, every time they sit him over there, he get iffy on that side. I ain't gonna say he miss a lot, but he do get iffy. That's why they always try to run another play to get the ball in a certain type of range for him. Not per se distance, but just off the inside of the hash or the outside of the hash. If you ever sort of know, especially with his new kicking style, because we just gonna say he was injured, so he had to learn a new kicking style. I don't really think it was because he wanted to, per se. I think it was really because he was injured and wasn't really no good kickers out there last year. We're just gonna be honest. I mean, not cool caliber kicker, or like a Baltimore. I forgot his name, Tucker or whatever.
Tucker.
Not like
Justin Tucker.
Yeah, ain't one no caliber kickers out there like that last year. And we didn't draft one, so it was sort of ugly. So bringing in the other kicker, especially seeing that, well, we know you can kick a straight line. We seen that 67 yards, but can you kick from the left side of the hash and the right side of the hash and still? And you was in a gym, so wasn't no wind. Koo understands all that when it's wind and stuff like that. Does the other guy really understand that when it comes to kicking?
And can you kick under pressure as well?
Yeah, 100%. Because some of these are going to be, as I say, game winners, and Koo has a history of making those. Lenny not so much. So can he build that sort of swag, that sort of consistency? And I think that pre-season, I would definitely gauge where Koo's leg is at. But at the same time, I'm going to be letting Lenny get a good handful of kicks as well, because I want him to, as I say, the way Penix did in these 3-game sample size from last season, I want him to get just a little taste. Here's 3 games, kid, where you're going to face real defense against the kicks and things like that nature. But I feel like that boils down to the offense as well. With the convoluted play calling of last season, the bad decisions, having to rely too much on Kirk's arm to get us down the field into a position where we can use the kickers. I just feel like it takes more consistency. And if you're going to run, as Mike said last Saturday, if you're going to run things like double motions and plays that intricate and that convoluted, as I say, you really need a more mobile quarterback. And now we do. We MPJ, so hopefully we can start to implement some of that. Obviously, God willing, but we'll see how it goes.
Can I ask King Richie a question?
Yeah,
sure.
What's your feeling on playing the starters or playing some starters in pre-season?
I'll be honest, I'd at least let my starters play a half, but knowing my good coach, Raheem Morris, you ain't got to worry about it. Your kicker, you were just talking about, finna get a lot of kicks during this preseason, because I still don't think. See, I am sort of with Raheem on that a little bit. See, I'm 50-50 because if we'd have never been practicing with Miami on that dirty field Miami got,
Oh my God, we wouldn't be getting hurt and injured doing practice.
Yeah, because Rondell Moore got injured, Braylon Trice got injured, and Helms got injured. You see what I'm saying?
That's the thing with Miami, man. I love the team, but like Dallas, it doesn't matter how much you love the team, you're gonna hurt these guys because your field is not suitable for. It's not up to par. And I'm not being funny. It's especially bad in Miami because look at the speed of the offense they've built. Devon Achane at running back. Then you've got Tyreek the Freak and my little brother, so to speak, Jalen Waddell. That is a rapid offense. And with turf that's not up to scratch, that's going to break some ankles, literally. That's going to tear some ACLs. That's going to mess up some calves.
And they used to playing on that Miami wet field. See, we're not used to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So playing from turf to real grass is people don't really understand some of them little. Cause you don't remember that episode where Bill Belichick said it had rained the night before. So before everybody came out on that field, he said he walked that field like 6 times to test because it was real grass when it got wet. So he had to test the sogginess of it. And he said he made his whole team go get longer cleats. See, them little nuances too matter. So you're talking about we going out there. I know our coach ain't talking about no longer cleats, no longer ends on the cleats with a player. He just went out there and played and they got hurt.
Kind of like that game. What game was that? Where we had practice and we waited to the last minute to show up to get into the state that what team was that we was playing?
Denver.
And I think that affected
Denver,
it was Denver.
Yeah, Denver.
Because you know they above altitude. They couldn't breathe.
There you go.
Because you got to get your lungs. Because Denver sits above some type of mountain altitude or something. So your lungs got to get prepared to play in that. We get there on Saturday thinking we finna be ready on Sunday. Or I think it was like Friday that we got there, and that we weren't prepared. They were gassed because they couldn't breathe.
100%. Like shout out to Miss Karina, the special guest on Tuesday night, the Falcons super fan, because credit to the Rise Up tour. When it's a game like that, they'll be there on the Thursday night. They'll touch down in Denver on the Thursday night. So why the players aren't doing this to acclimatise, or look at to take another example from another sport in the UFC, C-level Kane was a big thing. Cain Velasquez, because he lost to Fabricio Verdum. He got knocked out at altitude because he had to be training at altitude. So when he fought him in Rio, he was not accustomed. He gassed out and he got knocked out in the second round. You need to be training in these environments to be able to excel at game speed and the thin air, as well.
And she said that, it's bad when you have vending machines with oxygen. So you're telling me you're not gonna get. Go back and watch it. She was saying, she said they had oxygen machines everywhere. So you're telling your team we're gonna stay here and not get acquainted to the atmosphere before we go out there. That was a bad decision on coach.
Nah, because you remember Tevin Coleman, I think he had sickle cell or somewhere. He couldn't even go to Denver. He couldn't be above altitude for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm not understanding, like Raheem, you were there during that time. So I think,
and as you say,
I got to allow Raheem head coaching mistakes as well. I do get mad at him because it's like some of these situations, I'm pretty sure you knew this, but I think this year he really understands that you have no excuses.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think that Raheem picked these players for this draft, and I keep telling them no. Jeff Ulbrich picked every single last player. That's how he knew how he wanted to use them.
He knew I'm going to agree to disagree though, Richie. Like, I think it was a committee driven decision. Because yes, we went all defense, and yes, these were the guys that Ulbrich picked. But every one of those was brought in by Raheem and Terry themselves. You also need to remember that although Ulbrich is a linebacker at heart, and that's where his skill set is. You also need to remember that he is a DB by trade. So I feel like, especially if you're the first round, I'll give you with JPJ and with Jalen, but as we started to get later on, and you're talking about Watts and Bowman coming in there, that's where I start to feel like no, it's more than Jeff at play here. I can see what you're saying. Like I feel like Ulbricht's had a big hand in all the picks, but I don't feel like the narrative that they were all his doing. I feel like that's just maybe a bit too much.
Well, I don't think that's a bad thing. If you've brought in a new defensive coordinator and you're having to really effectively start stacking the defense, I mean, obviously you see the videos of Jeff Ulbrich banging on the wall, when some of the picks come in.
Yeah,
that's obviously because he approves of the players that have failed to us. But I've not got an issue. What I would say is the one thing I would say about Terry Fontenot is I do think he really does listen to his coaches.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't make a decision on I want to go this way and that's it. You look at the way that he drafted with Arthur Smith, it was effectively it was mostly offense. Mm-hmm. And then obviously Raheem came in last year and he started doing defense. So I've not got an issue with what King Richie says. If we have a defensive coordinator who wants to run a certain system, it's not an issue from my point of view that Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris make a decision on picking the players that can actually work to that system. So I've not got a problem with that.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just kind of looking at it on a pastoral level. I'm just saying that some people will try to insinuate that that's a bad thing, or that I'm having a go, or that, oh no, I don't think your defensive coordinator is. No. I think you're putting words in my mouth. Like, what I'm exactly saying is that it wasn't Jeff alone. But even if it had been, if that narrative was true, I can still understand it. But as I say, it can't be, because it's self-evident given that we've got a defensive-minded head coach too. So I think that kind of that's how you kind of break it down for me. But listen, that's
for me. Listen,
I think I was just saying it was sort of Ulbrich, because I'm gonna tell you the difference between Ulbrich and Jimmy Lake.
Mm-hmm.
When we had picks with Jimmy Lake, he wasn't in the media telling you how he gonna use he couldn't even tell you what he was gonna do with the player. One thing about Jill, after every pick he got on there, even with Billy Bowman, he said, I got Billy Bowman because we got him for the nickel. He gonna play a little inside, outside. We may move him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he knew exactly every player we picked, from Watts to Jalen Walker to James. Like he even said about James Pierce, he said he just pure pass rusher. I'm not really trying to do no extra tricks with him. Like he understood what his players could do and how he was going to use them in his scheme. And that's what I love about him, because he sounds like a Jimmy Lake never could tell you nothing like that. He just have an interview. Yeah, we're going to get it together. Yeah, we're going to do better. Yeah, we're going to do this. Jeff Ulbrich, he sounded more inspired. Like, yeah, I got him. We're going to have him play in the box, out of the box. We're going to move him to the side. You don't know where he going to come from. Then we got Billy Bowman, he gonna do this. Then we got Jalen Walker, he gonna be this. Then we got Pierce, he gonna do this. And what it helped me understood was we got players to the point that you can really run any defensive scheme you want. Even if we don't have a true nose, you can still run a 3-4 because you still got David on your model, you still got Rook, you still got Street. So you can try. I think this year going to be try a lot of stuff. That's why I say I got to get a defense a little bit too. That's why I said at the minimum 9 and 8. But if the team looked like it did better, I'm happy with that. But I do want 11 and 5, 10 and 6, however that go. But if I see improvement in the defense, I heard the defensive coordinator knew exactly what it's like. Every player we got, he said in his mind, he was like, okay, I'm gonna run this scheme with him. Okay, we got Watts for this. I may put Watts as the cornerback across from AJ just to throw him off. Just to throw an offense off, because you're used to did last week seeing him play single high. This week, you may see him down in a box. It's like I heard the defensive coordinator that you could tell our scheme is not going to be vanilla like it was last year. That's what sort of made me feel like a lot of these picks he had real deep insight on, because in my mind, you got to give if you'd have gave Dean Pease this defense that we got now, we a monster.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Look at what Dean Pease did more with less.
Really. Especially that first season, that first Arthur Smith season.
Because remember, the first 5 games, it wasn't the defense, it was the offense. The first 5 games with that's shocking. With the players, I don't even remember the players we had when Dean Pease was the defensive coordinator.
Like, it doesn't even matter if you're speaking offensively or defensively. There's not enough said about coaches who are about the X's and O's, who understand the chess game of it to the extent where they know what each piece, where each piece can move and where it can't, and can strategize accordingly. And that's why I said, there's a difference between versatility and flexibility. We have a lot of versatile players and we have a lot of flexible players, but we don't have many that are both. So the case in point would be kind of knowing which guys you can play in flex roles, and which are more strictly speaking, I'm just a linebacker, I'm just an edge rusher, I'm just an IDL. I'm just a nose, and so on. You will get players that that fit those molds still, even though it's coming at a time where most players are more versatile than what they were in the past. But you see what I'm saying. It's about knowing who you're getting, and how to kind of scheme for that as well. But just before we close out, then. I'm going to go around the panel and let y'all kind of say your final thoughts, your thank yous, all that sort of stuff. So before we get into that, I'm going to start off with Richie. So thank you ever so much for coming on and joining us today. It's always a pleasure talking birds with you, my brother. I know you've got the podcast starting too. So tell everyone how they can get at you, bro.
You can catch me on Dirty Falcon Podcast. You can also catch my music on YouTube. Download, type in Pop Out and King Richie, and it'll come up. And I just want to say for this season, man, I'm gonna be honest. Y'all gonna be real. I haven't had this feeling since the Super Bowl. Not saying we're going to win, but with the team, to be honest, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. The only one who can fuck this up is the coaches. Excuse my French. It's not gonna be the players, because we got the players. It's gonna be, are we gonna be out coached by Sean Payton? Are we gonna be out coached by the Saints' new coach? Are we gonna be out coached by the Bills' head? You see what I'm saying? That's the only flaw I really see in this team right now. It's coaching.
I get it. Culture, yeah, that's it. Coaching and culture, and that real, just as I say, the inconsistencies, the convolution of the plays. Know what we do well and do it. Execute. It's got to be the name of the game. But yeah, thank you so much again. And as I say, go check out Richie's podcast if you haven't already, because the guy's got a lot to say. And hopefully we can have him back.
And his music, I would play some of it actually. He got some music.
Well,
yeah, man, feel free. We'll do a music panel.
Well, I got to say, King Richie has got a voice that could put me to sleep in a good way. I mean, that's the kind of, so it's Dirty Falcons podcast. That's the kind of podcast I'm going to listen to when I'm ready to doze off, because that voice is just so smooth Absolutely.
You held it here first, Richie. You've got
pure South, pure smooth, just cool as can be. So shout out King Richie.
He's a nice bourbon. He's no a Scotch. There's no roughness in that voice.
When I come off this podcast, I'm going straight on to Dirty Falcons podcast, definitely.
And we would recommend that you guys do the same. So, Miss Maggie, any closing thoughts before we wrap up this? She'll maybe away dealing with something. I'll let you take over, Des. Get your thank yous, your socials dropped. Anything you want to say in closing, bro?
Again, I think we're 8 hours in now of 4 shows, so I've still got plenty to say, but I will say again, I appreciate everybody who watches, who leaves comments. It's really, really humble. From a wee home in Airdrie in Scotland, and for you in Clydebank in Scotland. But if you want to hear more, follow me on X. Just look out for Scottish Falcon. And give me a wee message. Let me know you're watching the show, and I'll follow right back.
Thank you for that, Des. Maggie, if you're there, you want to do a little sign off too, or are you happy with me closing up?
Yeah, Maggie's not there.
All good. In that case, then I'm going to see you all out. So just a few closing thoughts. So as Des says and as Richie says, support that Dirty Falcon podcast. Get at King Richie for all your ASMR needs. In terms of me, you can get at me at Will the Thrill Waddell on YouTube, TikTok, all that good stuff at Will Waddell. That's WADL on Twitter. Or I refuse to call it X. Elon, if you want to come on and debate me, I'm free anytime. But no, as I say, we've got the Scottish Falcons 3 times a week.
And I'm back, guys. Sorry.
No worries. All good. I'll pass the spiel over to you just before we finish up. But yeah, as I say, Will the Thrill Waddle on everything. AFN International, AFN LLC. There's the 2 channels now. So Scotland's got its independence, so to speak. Because we spoke to Maggie about what happens when you don't give a Scotsman his independence, and she decided that it was probably the best thought. But no, thank you all so much from the bottom of our hearts for continuing to support. So Maggie, we'll let you say what you've got to say in closing, and then we'll give you all your evening back, folks.
Okay, I'm glad King Richie came on. I've been wanting to kind of because he sent me. Well, I put it in some of my advertisement, but I'm gonna play just a snippet of his song, and you can just give them the name of it, and just kind of let everybody know where to find it. And I did invite him out to the Red and Black event. So hopefully you come on out July 26th, everybody. Just a reminder, it is, like I said, July 26th. Let me go back to the flyer. 1 second here. And I'll play a little bit of the music while we're doing that. But here it goes. At O'Reilly's Sports Bar off Covington Highway. And doors open at 6, but you already know everybody gonna be at Flowery Branch earlier in that day, so we probably won't roll in until about 8 o'clock. Some people probably even later, but they're open at 6 till 3 a.m. So not saying that AFN is gonna be there that long, but if you want to go in there and have you a good time, no matter what time you come in, it'll be live. But we do have some older people like Coach that probably be in the bed 12 o'clock. So considering that, now I might hang back a little later just to make sure and I catch you some people. But yeah, if you want to come out, come out. It's free until 10 p.m. and $10 after, which is not bad. And they have $5 drinks. So drink specials. So y'all can't beat that. But while we go on that, let's go ahead and just play a little bit of his track. And then you can just kind of tell us about it. Then we can get on out of here. I don't want to be too loud though. Hold on. Got it in here. I keep making it. I'm doing it from my phone. So here we go. Let me know if it's too loud. Is that too loud or is it good?
No, that's good.
No.
I just get the bag, what they talking about. When I pull up, when I pop out, I only trust my switch, what you talking about. The game up, who you talking about. I just get the bag, what they talking about. Yeah, my team.
There you go. There you go. Just a little snippet of it. Just a little bit. Since you're on here, just kind of tell us about that song.
Oh man, I made that because I had took a break from being outside for about 2 years. So man, I be getting invited to so much stuff, and I used to tell people all the time, man, I'm gonna come, and then sometimes I don't really be coming because the situation don't end up not being right. So after a while, I was just like, when I was ready to pop back outside, I was like, man, it's time to pop out now, really. But I tried to make it. I wanted to make the song where it fit sort of Atlanta, but can sort of cater to everybody from the young to the old, even between the beat and the words a little bit. And that was about it for that one. I ain't gonna lie. That one, I stumbled across, okay, the guy who made the beat is actually one of Lil Durk producers.
Okay.
So I bought the beat from him. And then when I bought the beat, he heard the song and he was like, oh, I ain't know you can actually rap. And so he just started throwing me beats. So that's what I sort of been doing. I've been back and forth to the studio lately because I've been trying to get this project out. So I have been a little tied up lately, but I still come back and listen to everybody's show, even if I miss it. And that's why I'm a Falcon fan. I don't even like no other team. I'm gonna just be honest. If the Falcons ain't in it, I don't even care.
That's me.
I don't care about the Super Bowl, the playoffs. If we not there, I could care less. I'm gonna be honest. I actually stopped watching football after we was out of it. I ain't even want to see no more after that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's good to see you back out there, man. It's speaking as a musician myself, sometimes you need to take that break. As I say, I don't know if you guys can see, but I have the tracheotomy scar. So there was a time when I was worried I would never sing again. So to be able to, I understand hiatuses, and I understand things that are out with your control. But at the same time, it's good to see you back, brother. And as I say, all love for King Richie, guys, because he's a diehard, not just for the Falcons, but for the channel as well. He's one of our ride or dies as well. So can't thank you enough. As I say, thank you everyone down in the chat. Maggie for jumping on as well. Des for helping me head this thing up as always. For all your comments, your questions, your interesting topics, thank you as always. Anyone get anything else before we close out, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I'd like.
Go ahead.
Yeah, King Richie, where can we download that song?
Apple Music, it's everywhere. I did it through United Masters, so it's out everywhere. YouTube is just where I send everybody, and then if you want to purchase it, you can just go to Apple Music for 99 cents. But I just want to let y'all know, don't worry about if we can understand you. Trust me, we can. We know what you're saying. I've been listening to you even through, everyone else, Madness and Mad Mike, and so we really do understand what you're saying. I know you think, Mike, because I know you're nervous that you think we don't, but for the most part, if I can understand it, I know they can. It'd be harder for you to understand me when I get to speak in Atlanta lingo.
Oh yeah, because there's a real Atlanta lingo.
Yeah, like that's the thing. If we go really Glaswegian, I feel like that's the only time it's lost in translation is when we start getting into slang. And that's why we've got the beauty of being not just a sports show here, but also a culture show. So if there's anything we can do a little translation on for you, then we're happy to do so. But as I say, once again, thank you for stopping off, for spending the last, almost 2.5 hours at this point. We promise you 2, but sometimes we like to throw a little gravy on it for you. So, as we say, we've all come to realise that over the years, over the decades, pain is international, but then again, so is passion. So until Saturday, where we drop the link, the AFN Saturday scrimmage number 2. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, peace out. Love you all, and thanks
guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.